I was sold into this very trauma based suicide end goal human trafficking program in 2010. Right after that, my dad was suddenly died, and they stole some my mineral rights. They submitted very old will, not the final will, but one that was my mother saved a will from 35 years back, and uh, yeah, picked the right time to use it. And a few months after I was sold into this human trafficking program, it just seemed to kick off a whole bunch of things. And then I come to realize it's an experimental human trafficking program to see how we would react to continual homelessness. So, what they're doing now is they're forcing people into poverty out onto the street, Asian people and things like that, into suicide. And if not that, into street life. And street life causes drug abuse, street life causes crime, prostitution, babies, single mothers, and that's what causes all this stuff. And the shelters and the people who are supposed to be helping with all that stuff enable it as well. So it's a big ring of human traffickers, and nobody wants to believe it. The end goal is to force us into suicide. This is the big end goal, and they will put you through extreme trauma to make it so. And I've lived through this for now 16 years, and I'm still here, but just barely. I'm telling you, it's a rough ride. Today, and the longer you're out, the rougher it is. Nobody will understand until they're there. It is extremely rough on the body. That's why they do drugs. I think panhandling is, a great way to go. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's giving, it's sharing, it's talking. I tell people how messed up our system is and how they're not helping people who are fleeing from like family sacrifice and, domestic abuse and family abuse, children and things like that. It's all fucked up. It's meant to enable all that stuff, and people need to know about it. I think that's worth something. So I'm out here panhandling, but it's looked at as the absolute lowest of the low. Lower than stealing, than prostitution, than drug use, than, well, bottle picking is very common. Dirty work, though, not for me. So, um, you gotta be a criminal. They do not help victims of crime, they help criminals. And I just heard what I call sad story, happy for some, about a woman who was sort of, using drugs and trying to escape, her boyfriend. And I've seen this, how these shelters will put them up and get them homes, damage deposits, everything, set them up, furniture, over and over and over and over again, time after time after time, within months. This woman was getting very big luxury apartment and whatever she wanted. But for some of us who are on the blacklist or who come from dirty families, well, the system will not help us at all. It harms us. I got ripped off by so many people within the system. We get treated like absolute garbage. Like, no, there is definitely a hierarchy when it comes to people who stay in shelters, and a lot of them will, go back to the same boyfriend. And Medicine Hat, it was just unbelievable. This one And she was stealing everything from the shelter too. Hey, it's almost like the worst person you are, the more you're gonna get. It is. It works that way. But I don't know, 8 or 9 times I think she was telling me that they put her up, housed her, got her away from this guy. She'd go back. Same guy, very same guy. And I don't know. I don't get the system. But people have been told not to give. So we have no choice but to steal, but to do all this stuff. And that's part of the game. That's what they have in store for your children. Force them into poverty, out on the street, can't sleep anywhere, can't go to the bathroom anywhere. And when you do, somebody's really going to hate you for it. And so it's almost like, our families throw us into the system throws us out onto the street, and society finishes us off. And that's why they steal, that's why they do drugs, because society is built that way. And it's even getting worse and worse and worse. And people need to know that these systems just aren't working. But we could solve it if we said, screw the government. We're going to give anyways. I've been in the same clothes for like months here, and I mean, all these clothes, that are not wanted and stuff, and yeah, they're needed, desperately needed by some people, but there's no real legit business that will help clean street people. You have to be a drug addict, you have to be a criminal, you gotta be a prostitute, single mom, have a dog, uh, some sort of, you know, narcissistic characteristics, bad person kind of deal, then, or steal from them or something like that. I've seen just the craziest things go on, and nobody wants to believe me. But I'll never stop saying that I was part of this experimental human trafficking program that is determined to get rid of people, a lot of people. And they will stop at nothing to get there, and our society will help them get there. Scary, isn't it? But few people could come together and say, hey, give them clothes. Here's some clothes, and I could give things out. Certain people could just give things out to what's needed. Then they're not going to steal from you. Then they're not going to do drugs just to survive the elements and the cold and the heat. And there's lots of things we can do, but nobody really wants to do anything. But I know that, there are a lot of immigrants around here, and they are motivated to do things. So I'm hoping that maybe, we can build some things, build some networks of unity, and show them that, yes, we can all get along and help one another. And who cares what the authorities or the bigwigs, the rich people say? We can help one another. They do all the time on our backs too. So fuck you, rich people.